Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to Gemara review video number 10. We are still on Berakhot, Daf Dal Amud Bet, talking about Semichat, geulah, tefillah, connecting redemption to Shemona Esrei. Before we saw the Machloket, Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Shua ben Levi, we explained it if they were arguing about a svara. We explained it as if they were arguing over the interpretation of a pasuk. And now we're going to kind of go back to the opinion of Rabbi Yochanan, who had said you do have to do Semichat, geulah, tefillah at night. And this is going to be challenged by Mar, the son of Ravina. So here we go. Okay, so we're going to start off with a challenge. Meitiv Mar Beria de Ravina. So Rav, the son, Beria over here means the son of Ravina, challenges, and he's challenging Rabbi Yochanan. And here we said, right, Amar Mar sometimes means you're quoting a Braita. Here it's Mar, the son of Ravina, so here it's Mar, the person. So Mar is going to challenge Rabbi Yochanan. He's going to bring a quote from a Mishnah in Berakhot that we already saw. The Mishnah, I believe it's the second or third Mishnah in the first parak that talks about the Berakhot of Kriyat Shema, the Berakhot that we say before and after Kriyat Shema. And I put a line, I underlined kind of this quote from the, Mishnah. Okay, so here we go. Be'era mevarach shtayim lefaneha v'shtayim la'achreha. So, at night, for Mariv, you say two brachot before, right before Kriyat Shema, and you say two brachot after Kriyat Shema. Now, those two brachot after Kriyat Shema is really what we want to talk about here, because one of them is Ga'al Yisrael, which is the bracha we want for Semichat, geulah, tefillah, right? We want the bracha of Ga'al Yisrael before Shemona Esrei. But here's the problem. While in Shacharit, you only have one bracha after Shema and Shemona Esrei, the bracha of Ga'al Yisrael. For Mariv, you actually have two. You have the bracha of Ga'al Yisrael, but then right after it, you have the bracha of Hashkivenu. You have the bracha of Hashkivenu that seemingly seems to interrupt between the bracha of Ga'al Yisrael and Shemona Esrei. So how can we have Semichat, geulah, tefillah if it's interrupted by this bracha? So Mar, sorry about the background noise. What happens when I try to record videos in Washington Heights? So again, Mar is bringing this quote from the Mishnah, right? That like at night you say two brachot, but before it, but you also say two afterwards, right? Now he's going to continue with his challenge. V'ia marta ba'i l'smoch haylo kasamech geulah l'tfilah taha ba'i l'meimar hashkivenu, and that's going to be the end of our challenge. We're going to put some commas over here. So here we'll just going to switch our color back. Here we go. So ve'ia marta ba'i lismoch. And if you said that we are required to connect, lismoch means to connect. Ba'i, we're going to talk about the end, can mean one of three things: inquire, require, desire. But here it means that you're required to. So if we want to say you're required lismoch, to connect the bracha of Ga'al Yisrael with Shemona Esrei, we have a little bit of a problem. Halo kasamech geulah tefillah. In this situation, you have not samach geulah tefillah. You have not connected the bracha of Ga'al Yisrael to Shemona Esrei. Why? Because ba'i lameimar hashkivenu. You are required. Lameimar means to say the bracha of hashkivenu, meaning we have this second bracha at the end of after Shema that interrupts between Ga'al Yisrael and Shemona Esrei. I drew a little picture over here, right? You have Shema and the bracha of Ga'al Yisrael, and then you have Shemona Esrei right over here, but in Mariv. But now you have this bracha of Hashkivenu, and you can see it in your Siddur that kind of interrupts. So Mar's challenge is, how could Rabbi Yochanan say you have to do Semichat, geulah, tefillah at night? It seems to be impossible to do so because we have this other bracha interrupting it. So now we are going to have an answer. And the answer is going to start with the word Amre. Amre is they said, right? So this is kind of like a good answer word over here, which we'll highlight. All right, Amre, and they said, Kevan de tiknu rabbanan hashkivenu ke geulah arichta damia. And we're going to put a kind of period over here. So Kevan means since, Tzakinu means established. This is the rabbis. Here's the bracha of hashkivenu. And aroch means long, and dami is similar to. So let's put this all together in English. Since the rabbis established Hashkivenu, we can put a kind of comma over here, since the rabbis are the ones that said that you have to do Hashkivenu, and they're also the ones who said you have to do Semichat, geulah, tefillah, in this case, it's like a geulah arichta. Like damia is like it's similar to, or it's like a long geulah. So the answer over here, what the rabbis or the Gemara is kind of responding is hashkivenu. Since the rabbi said that you're the ones you have to do it, or you're the ones that have to say it, it's not considered a break between Ga'al Yisrael and Shmoneh Esrei. This whole thing over here, we can kind of draw a little nice little kind of bracket, is considered kind of a geulah arichta, meaning one long geulah. What we're basically saying is it's not interruption. Ga'al Yisrael and hashkivenu are like a package deal. They're kind of like one extended geulah. So don't see hashkivenu as an interruption, as a hefsek, but see it as kind of, since the rabbis established it and they're the ones who said you have to say it, see it as like a package deal with Ga'al Yisrael. So it's like one long geulah and it's not considered an interruption. So that's the answer. The Gemara is now going to bring a kind of lengthy proof. And the way it's going to prove this, it's going to say you have to be able to use this concept of a geulah arichta, of like an extended geulah, to explain away certain possible hefseks or interruptions between the Berakhot of Ga'al Yisrael and Shmoneh Esrei. Because if you don't kind of use this move of the geulah arichta, you're also going to run into problems for shacharit, where everyone says you do Semichat, geulah, tefillah. So the way we're going to kind of highlight this, and I was kind of debating this a little bit before, it's really a whole thing is like a proof. So we're going to do it in green, but as part of the proof, it's also going to kind of like ask like a rhetorical challenge and bring an answer to it. So here we go. Let's start kind of doing it together. So De'i lo tema hachi, because if you don't say it like this, right? Tomar means to say it, meaning if you don't use this answer of a geulah arichta, if you don't say this, you're going to have problems with shacharit. Shacharit heichi matzi samech. And we can put kind of like, even though we're highlighting it in green as a proof, it's really a question. Because it's saying that if you don't say this, if you don't use this answer of a geulah arichta, how are you going to have smichat geulah for shacharit, right? For shacharit, how, heichi is how, right? Matzi, are you going to be able to? And samech is to connect, right? So if you don't use this argument, you're also going to have problems with shacharit. What problems are we going to have with shacharit? So it's now going to bring kind of like a challenge. We're still going to, I think, keep this in green because the whole thing's a proof. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of underline the challenge over here, which I didn't really mean to go that far. So I just kind of underlined the challenge and the resolution, but we're going to keep this in green kind of as we go, because this is still kind of proof. So he's saying, right, we're going to have, if you don't do this, you're also going to have problems with shacharit. So what problems are you going to have with shacharit? V'ha, behold, like it says, Amar Rav Yochanan. Rav Yochanan said the following. Our Rav Yochanan, right from before, talking about Semichat, geulah, tefillah, and we know that he believes in Semichat, geulah, tefillah. He says, "Betchila omer Hashem sfatai tiftach, u'levasof hu omer Yehu l'ratzon amrefi." So Rabbi Yochanan said that you have to say certain things before and after Shmoneh Esrei, which I think we actually mentioned kind of in one of our first classes, right? At the beginning, we even put kind of punctuation. Whoops. So he explains, right, that like at the beginning you say before Shmoneh Esrei, Hashem sfatai tiftach, right? Hashem, open my lips, right, and let my tefillah be pleasing. At the end of tefillah, you know, as before we take our 3 steps back, we say Yehu l'ratzon amrefi, that what I daven to Hashem should be pleasing. So again, here we're more concerned obviously with the beginning part. Now wait a second, if you're not supposed to have interruptions between Semichat, geulah, tefillah, we say even in shacharit Hashem sfatai tiftach after Ga'al Yisrael. There's no interruption of hashkivenu. But we definitely have an interruption of Hashem sfatai tiftach. Why isn't that a problem? And here's our resolution starting from Ella. But we're like, no, that's also not a problem. Ella hatam, rather there, right? Ella hatam we know means there. Rather there, kevan, since takinu rabbanan lameimar Hashem sfatai tiftach ketfila arichta damia. And it gives the same response that like, why isn't saying Hashem sfatai tiftach a problem? Because since the rabbis are the ones that told you to say, right? We can put kind of quotes over here. Hashem sfatai tiftach. It is considered a tefillah arichta damia. It is considered or similar to a long extended tefillah, meaning Hashem sfatai tiftach is part of Shmoneh Esrei. It's an extended part of Shmoneh Esrei, and that would not be an interruption of Semichat, geulah, tefillah. Now we're bringing it all home. So that was the issue there, and now we're going to say hachanami here too. Remember, hatam is there and hacha is here. So here too. Kevan takinu rabbanan lameimar, Since the rabbis established you should say hashkivenu, lememar hashkivenu geulah arichta damia, it is also considered an extended geulah. So we see over here that this challenge that Mar brought, that doesn't hashkivenu at night serve as an interruption, breaking up Gal Yisrael and Shemona Esrei, doesn't it kind of ruin Semichat geulah tefillah, because we have the second bracha at night that we don't have during the morning? And the Gemara kind of knocks it out, and it's like, no, it's an extended geulah, because, and we have to say this because, you know what, we use this move to solve problems in the morning also, because otherwise you could say Hashem Svatay Tiftach is a hafsek, is a break between geulah and tefillah. But no, we consider that not a geulah arichta, but a tefillah arichta, right? That like it's part of like it's an extension of Shemona Esrei, and it's not really an interruption. Again, if you guys want to pause over here, I just put kind of again the breakdown with the Hebrew and the Aramaic translation and the English that you can see. And over here, again, with the caveat that you have that kind of like, you know, even though this is all part of a, you know, a proof, you still have, I'll switch the colors, it's a little bit easier, right? This is all a proof in green, right? A proof for why we can use that move of geulah arichta, right, to say the hashkivenu is not an interruption, but it kind of does it by bringing this other challenge and answer, like the challenge to shacharit, and then the resolution that it's really the tefillah arichta, and then we say, so too, here too, hachanami, hashkivenu is not going to be a problem. And finally, I just wanted to remind us of that word that we're talking about, ba'i, that we've seen before, can have three possible explanations, and it really just depends on the context of which one could be correct. Either there's different schools of thought to help you remember it, either need, want, ask, or inquire, require, or desire. And here it was obviously being used as need or require, that like you have to say hashkivenu, right, ba'i lamemar, so won't that cause a problem? And we're done.